Hey, what's going on, guys? Snipers here. Welcome back to another video. Now, I just wanted to make this quick video to talk about the Black Mage dilemma that's going on right now. And some of you probably have heard by now because, there's a lot of people going all over the internet talking about that Black Mage is dead, Black Mage is dead. But no, it's not dead by any means. It's maybe drastically different, though, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, so for those who were living under a rock and haven't seen the many videos posted by a bunch of the high-end content creators of Final Fantasy XIV, Black Mage got a number of interesting changes. So we're just going to go over them right now, and we'll just talk about what this could mean for the job in the future and what this means for the job in like Savage and Ultimate wise and all that stuff. So non-standard rotation as we know it is completely gone. So there's basically no way to execute the whole transpose lines and all that anymore because they've removed Ice Paradox. So you can only cast Paradox in Fire now, and Fire Paradox is an instacast. And also another thing is Cast is also completely out of the game as well. So you cannot set up Thundercloud procs or Firestarter procs anymore. So you can get a Firestarter proc when you cast Fire Paradox. So there's that at least. But yeah, you can't like farm if you want to like get like a Fire 3 Paradox, like a Fire 3 proc for whatever reason. You can only get it by casting Fire Paradox, and that's whenever you do it in your Fire rotation. So at max you'll get like 2 Fire Paradoxes, and then you'll have to go back to Ice. And also another thing is that Ice phase is no longer mana tick dependent. It is going to be by GCD. So if you cast like a Blizzard and then 2 Blizzard 4s, then you'll get Ice. You get mana back from it, and thankfully it only takes about like 3 to 2 spells to get back to full mana. So you don't really need to like be in Ice phase for super long still. And they also increased the potency by Blizzard 3 by a little bit to also compensate for that. So you won't be losing on damage pretty much by being in Ice phase for too long. And granted, people always say, oh, you want to be in Ice phase for the least amount of time as possible, and it's like, no, you do not have to be in Ice phase for a specific amount of time. Like, that's a common misconception with Black Mage. You can be in it for an extended amount of time if need be, but generally you do not want to be in it for more than like a couple GCDs at best. That's like, you want to be minimum time, but you do not have to be like absolutely minimum time, if that makes any sense. But also, big change with Thunder. It did get upgraded to High Thunder like I suspected it would. But downside is that you can only cast Thunder once per element swap. So when you swap to Astral Ice, and then you get your Ice 3 stacks and all that, you can cast Thunder during that once, and then you cannot recast it until you swap back to Fire, and then you want to cast it again and Fire, and then you just go back and forth. I don't really know how it's going to work with the when it comes to like refreshing it when you need it, but I'm assuming that it means that it may not have full uptime depending on how it works. But I'm assuming that it's probably going to be like a thing where it's like it has just enough of duration to where you can refresh it during each swap. Because like I don't think you can save it, so like you can't like save your Thunder proc when you swap to the next element, to the other element. So it's basically just a matter of you use it or lose it. So that's going to be interesting to deal with. But yeah, so transpose is basically just completely useless now, which is unfortunate, but is what it is, kind of guaranteed. But yeah, the rotation is pretty strict as far as we know. So you can't really do a whole lot of like wishy-washing, like, oh, I'm gonna use a Polyglot here with Unigloss Seed so I can get a Fire 3 proc by casting Sharp Cast and using Paradox or something like that. You can't do that anymore. You use Paradox, you get your Fire 3 starter, and that's it. Or Fire starter proc, and that's it. And you cannot get you rely on Ice phase being like having a free instant cast window. Like, granted, yes, we do have an extra Polyglot slot now, so it's kind of we're in a weird limbo where like Black Mage has, at the same time, they've lost mobility options, but they also gained mobility options at the same time. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of a weird mix in between. My concern is like, why is it that they feels like that they're trying what they like from what I heard, what they said is that they were like, we want to make Black Mage more jobs in general more accessible to more people, but it's like, you know, then you make jobs like Pictomancer and Viper that seem hella complex and like seem like you take a little bit of time and investment to get used to. Like, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with having jobs that are simpler and jobs that are harder. Like, yeah, if like because like you could say, oh well, if the job's harder then it should do more damage, and it's like, no, that's not how it works. But like, that's not what we're talking about right now. What I'm talking about is that like we should have more jobs that are just like more, I don't want to say skill expression because that sounds so nerdy, but like I think it wouldn't be bad if we had more jobs that were like more just diverse and more like took a bit more time and whatnot to get invested into. Because like, yeah, it's nice to have jobs like, you know, that feel like that you're rewarding for doing good on, but you know, there's also the jobs where you can just press one button and then you do like tons of damage. That's so good. But like, it's more of a case like, I don't necessarily hate these changes. I don't think they're bad. Yeah, it sucks that it's gonna mean that Black Mage might be a lot more like linear and strict than it has ever been, but I don't think this could be a bad thing. Like, I would imagine that this just means that it's gonna make movement a bit more tricky in like high movement instances, like for example top, because there's a lot of like moving parts in top, like Pantocrated for example is a good example of that. Like I can't imagine that it'd be like super different in that scenario, but it's just gonna be a lot of getting used to for the lower levels, that's all. Like, because like I feel like this as a whole, it's not gonna just change Black Mage at level 90 or level 100, I'm sorry. It's gonna change it throughout the entirety of the level tiers, so it's gonna, you're gonna feel it all the way down to level 50. So it's just gonna take a bit of getting used to. That's basically what I'm getting at. It's gonna take getting used to. And while I don't think these changes are bad, I just feel like that maybe we could have done without some of these, maybe. But like, I feel like Black Mage was one of those jobs where it was fine as is. Like, I don't think Black Mage is a very complex job at the core level, because like at the core of it, really, it's just you open up with Fire 3, you cast triple cast, get all your Fire Forces out, and get a Despair, Mana Font, Fire 4 Despair, and then go into Ice with your Blizzard 3, instant cast Paradox, Blizzard 4, maybe an extra one if you need it, and then you do Fire 3, and then rinse and repeat, and then refresh your Thunder cast, your Thunder Cloud or whatever, Thunder 4 or Thunder 3 as needed. That's kind of like the entirety of rotation. And like, yeah, granted, like the only hard part about Black Mage is fight optimization. That's what makes Black Mage so hard, for at least for most people. Because like, if you don't have the fight knowledge, then Black Mage is going to be harder for you than it would be for someone who has done the fight many times and it's like, okay, I know what to use here. That's what makes Black Mage so fun for most people, including myself. That's what makes it so interesting, is that you're trying to plan out where you want to put your ley lines, where you want to use your triple cast, where you want to use your xenovelocities. Like, that's kind of where all of this the skill ceiling and stuff like that for Black Mage comes in. So whenever you take that away from everybody, and then it kind of becomes a case of like, oh well, shit, now I kind of just have to do as the rotation says, and then rinse and repeat, and I can't really mix it up here and there. Like, at the very most, you're just gonna be having Xenoglossy optimization and like triple cast optimization, which, so that's not going away. But the thing that is going away is basically just like where you want to put your fire, your like paradox, or you want to put your ice paradox. Like, you can't do any of that anymore. And like at level 90 below, maybe you can still kind of get away with the normal rotation a little bit, but you don't have ice paradox as a buffer window to like offset the potency of using transpose, which is kind of a shame in my opinion, because it kind of defeats the purpose of transpose. Because like we went from transpose being like relatively useless to it being a really good skill again because of ice paradox, but now it's going to be going back into being useless, because what reason would you have to use transpose outside of like level like 60 or below, because like you don't need to use transpose anymore, because you don't have an ice paradox to like, you know, get an instant 500 potency out. That's what made it so good, because not only do you get a number of heart back and a number of ice stack back, but then you just have to cast one blizzard and then a blizzard 4, and that would be basically a whole ice rotation instantaneously. But like now you can't do that anymore, so it's like, well, you might as well take transpose off your hotbar now. So yeah, it is. I can definitely see the people who are like dooming and glooming about Black Mage and thinking like, oh well, the rotation's dead, just non-standard's dead, Black Mage is gonna suck now, it's gonna be for baby drop, blah, blah, blah. Like I can see where people are coming from, but I don't necessarily think that is going to be like that. Yes, Black Mage is going to be drastically different from all levels of play, but like I don't think that these are going to be the end of the jobs, like creativity and stuff like that. This heavy copium, but I do feel like that after we give it some time, that people are gonna find ways to like make Black Mage if maybe even better than it was before in terms of optimization with movement and stuff. So I feel like that we just gotta give them some time to do that. So we'll see what happens in the coming weeks after dawntrail drops and people have some time to get used to level 100 Black Mage play. So I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty of guides anyway, but yeah, let me guys know what you think about these Black Mage changes. Do you hate them? Do you love them? Do you think they're okay? Do you not care because you don't play the job? I just want to hear what you guys think. So let me know in the comments below what you want to see in Black Mage players, like what you want to, what kind of stuff you think you could probably pull off with the new rotation. And also leave a like if you like the video and subscribe if you're new. I'd really love to see you around more. But yeah, I just wanted to get this off my chest because, like, you know, there's gonna be plenty of like actual good Black Mage players like Exu who like probably have way more to say on this type of thing than I would. But I'm just giving it my perspective as a player who plays Black Mage, and I'm like, you know, semi decent at the job. I'm not the fucking top ranking Black Mage by any means, but I'm not an average or below average Black Mage either. I'm kind of like in between. I'm like pretty good, but not bad either. You know, if that makes any sense. But yeah. That's all I have to say for today, and yeah, I'll be seeing you guys later. Have a good one. See ya.